Just think of starting a new business, as simple as like building a house. Now, without the right foundation, things can get shaky very fast. Hi everyone, I am Sonal Alag, a co-founding partner to Alag and Kapoor Law Offices, and welcome to this video where we are going to guide all these startups and business entrepreneurs about some legal laws. So in this video, I will be taking you guys through all the contracts which you require from day one of your business. These are the basic legal premise of your startups. Now in this video, I will not be just talking about the contracts, I'll be also highlighting the important clauses which you should keep in mind while entering into these types of contracts, and also I'll giving you some practical tips from my personal experience of over a decade of dealing with these contracts. Today we will be talking about 9 types of such contracts, and to start with, the first and the foremost and the most important is a founders agreement. This is also known as co-founders agreement. Now, a founder agreement outlines the entire relationship between the founders, what will be their equity, what is going to be the relationship between the founders, what are going to be their rights, what are going to be their responsibilities, deadlock situations, voting powers. Everything has to be defined for a smooth running of your startup. Now, think of two best friends, amazing techies, very good with their knowledge, and they enter into a startup. Fast forward 1 year, they are into a dispute, they are into a deadlock and not talking to each other. Why? Just because they did not have a founders agreement. I will be telling about 3 important clauses that you need to keep in mind while getting into a founder or a co-founder agreement. Now, the first and the foremost I would say is the equity vesting clause. The equity vesting clause is basically it prevents the founders from leaving the startup at an initial stage. It is a security that both the partners, both the founders are giving to the startup. So you decide the terms of when the equity will be vested and when you can leave. The second important is the decision making powers, like who has the voting right, what will be the situation if there's a deadlock, what are the procedures you'll be following, who has the right to make a decision on which topic or which operation or which executing part of business. That is an important decision making process which you should definitely be very clear and crisp in the founders agreement. The third would definitely will be the buy sell provisions. The buy sell provisions actually is very necessary when one of the founders is making an exit, or when there's a deadlock or a dispute kind of situation again. The second type of contract that I would love to share with you is a non-disclosure agreement. Now, non-disclosure agreement, from the name itself, it actually protects your startup's secret information or very sensitive information from being disclosed by a third party whom you are sharing that information with. It is important when you are sharing your ideas, your information with any third party, be it your employee, be it your vendor, be it your investor, anybody you're sharing that sensitive information, it is necessary to get into an NDA first. Or just the other way, you can just go pitch your idea to an investor only to see that that idea's execution is being done by the investor. So you need to enter into an NDA before taking any such steps. Now, if I have to tell about 3 important clauses of the NDA that you need to keep in mind, the first and the foremost has to be the definition of the confidential information. Now, you are the best person to decide it, what will be the confidential information, because you know what is the sensitive information, but you need to very clearly and crisply decide that what information cannot be shared by the receiving party to a third person, what information cannot be stored in their system, what has to be deleted by what time period. That is how you define the confidential information clause in your end. The second clause that I would love to tell you about is very much interconnected with the first clause, that is obligation of the receiving party. Now, it means that how the information will be stored, processed, or distributed or erased by the receiving party. The third clause is the duration of the transfer of this secret information, which is also need to be very crisp and clear in the non-disclosure agreement. The third type of agreement that I would love to speak about is an agreement which all of you guys, the business owners, the business entrepreneurs, would have definitely heard about, and these are the employment agreements. Now, what is an employment agreement? Employment agreement, from the name itself, is an agreement that defines the terms of the employment, that is, the duties, roles, responsibilities, remuneration, consideration of your employees. Now, pardon me when I say this, but the employment agreement not only protect the rights of the employer, that is you guys, but also protect the rights of the employees. Now, if I have to tell about three very important and very relevant clauses of the employment agreement, the first and the foremost has to be the intellectual property rights. Now, you need to make sure that every work that is being done by your employee, the content creation, any software, any coding, any work for that matter, even in FMCG or the manufacturing industry, the ownership of that work lies with the employer. You are the owner of the work that is being executed by your employee, and by you, I mean the company. Now, the second important clause is a non-compete and a non-disclosure clause. Now, this clause ensures that A, your employee does not leave you and immediately go and join your competitor in the industry, and B, it also prohibits your employee from disclosing the sensitive and the secretive information to your competitors in the market. Guys, I've made a very elaborative and detailed video about relevance of non-compete and non-disclosure agreement, which I'll be linking it up here. You guys can go and watch it in detail. The third important clause is, you know it is the termination clause. Now, termination clause, you need to be very clear about what could be the reasons of termination, what would be the rights when the contract could be terminated by both the employer and the employee, and also please very clearly tell the mode of informing about the termination and also the notice period that the employee might have to serve in either case of terminations, either by the employee or by the employer. The fourth type of contract that I will be talking about today is a vendor agreement. Now, what is a vendor agreement? Vendor agreement is a contract that defines the terms and the conditions of the goods and the services that you will be procuring from the third party. Now, in this agreement, you actually define the description of the goods, the value, the amount, so that even the other party who is providing you the goods or services has a clear clarity about what exactly you want. Now, there's this very old client of mine who works in steel and manufacturing industry, and once he came to us 4 years back, he was not having a clear crystal vendor agreement, and he was procuring custom parts from a third party vendor. Now, due to this, there were delays in the supply to the ultimate customer. There was a lot of issues about the specification, service of the material that was being supplied. So, after we drafted a crystal clear vendor agreement for them, even the vendor knew that what was expected, what is the time frame, what are the specific requirements, and what are the actual goods that they want. So it created a clarity between both the startup and their vendors. Now, if I have to tell you about three very important clauses that you need to keep in mind while drafting or getting into such a vendor agreement, the first has to be the delivery terms and conditions. Now, what are the terms and conditions of the delivery? What time frame? When will the goods be delivered? What will be the specification of the goods or the services? What is the quality? What is the industry benchmark standards? All of that has to be very clearly laid out in the vendor agreement. The second important clause is very relevant because it is the payment terms, guys. That is the major dispute. Now, in the payment terms, you need to very clearly and specifically tell them that what is the time period of the payment, including the penalties for the late payment, including what will be the other charges, the interest rate, everything about the late or the delayed supplies. So all of that has to be crystal and clear in your vendor agreements. And the third thing that you often see with your vendors is disputes. So you need to have a very elaborate dispute resolution mechanism that is built into your vendor agreements. Now, the fifth category of the agreements that you as a business entrepreneur needs to know about are the licensing agreement, guys. Now, licensing agreements allows you to legally use another person, another entity's intellectual property. Now, these type of agreements are very necessary for the startups who usually deal in technology, content, branding, as they are using somebody else's intellectual property. Now, the three important clauses that you need to have in your licensing agreement are, first and the foremost, is the scope of the license. Now, you need to exclusively define that this intellectual property can be used for what purpose, till what time, and also the scope actually means that whether it is exclusive, non-exclusive, can be shared, cannot be shared. So all of that has to be defined under the scope of the license. The second is the royalties. Obviously, you're using somebody else's intellectual property, so you have to pay the royalties to the same. Now, you need to define it in your agreement itself, what will be the royalties, and usually it is intertwined with the sales that you're doing using that license. The third important clause that you need to have in a licensing agreement is the duration and the termination. Now, duration, as the word sounds, actually define that how long you can use that license, and termination, you need to specifically clearly mention that what are the conditions in which that license could be terminated. The sixth category of the agreements that we need to discuss about is the franchisee agreement. Now, franchisee agreement is basically for somebody who is looking to expand through the franchisee model, and these kind of agreements actually define the terms or establish the terms for opening and operating your franchisee. Now, to tell about the three most relevant and important clauses in a franchisee agreement, it has to be, the first is franchisee fees and royalties. This clause actually outlines the initial and the ongoing payments from the franchisees to the franchisor. The second important clause is the brand standards. Now, this clause actually lays down all the standards for the operations of your brand. Now, to give example, if we see any McDonald's, or if we see any Pizza Hut, we see any Domino's, we see that all of them are branded in the same way, with the same color scheme, with the same machinery, with the same edibles, with the same products, having the same end results. Now, this is the standard of the brand and operations which are set out in their franchisee agreement. And the third important clause is the territorial rights. Now, territorial rights is basically defining that in which area the franchisee is allowed to function. The seventh type of agreement that you as a business entrepreneur or a startup owner could have to get into is a joint venture agreement. Now, a joint venture agreement are critical when two separate entities want to start a new business together, but without having a new entity set up altogether, but with a common goal of merging your resources with a common end result. Now, this is what a joint venture is. To talk about the three most important or the relevant clauses in a joint venture, the first one has to be the contribution. Now, what is contribution? From the sound of the name itself, the contribution clause actually defines what each of the party to the joint venture is bringing in, from the capital point of view, from the resources point of view, or from the expertise point of view. The second very important clause has to be the profit sharing. It is very simple that how the profits from this joint venture will be distributed amongst the party. And the third important relevant clause is what exactly will be the management and the control of the joint venture, because there are two separate entities who are in a habit of controlling their own entities. Now, both of them coming together to start a new business, but not a separate entity. Now, you need to decide that which party will be taking a decision on what. Who will be the authority or the deciding power on which category of the operation or business function is what is decided in this clause. The eighth category of the contract that I would be speaking about are the distribution agreements. Now, distribution agreements are required by the startups who need to distribute their products or services through third parties, which are also known as their channel partners, and they give them the rights to market or sell their products for the market. Now, three important and relevant clauses for a distribution agreement has to be, the first and foremost is exclusivity. Now, the distribution of the channel partners could function on two ways, whether they have an exclusive right to sell the product or the service, or a non-exclusive right. Now, this has to be defined in the exclusivity clause of the distribution agreement. The second important are the performance target. You need to make it very clear with your channel partners, your distributors, that what are the targets of the sales that you expect from them, which they have to meet. So this is again defined in the distribution agreement. And the third are the reasons or the clauses for the termination, where you need to again define that when will this contract be terminated by either of the parties, be it the startup or be it the distributor. The last category of the contract is something that I feel a majority of startups or business entrepreneurs would have entered into or will be entering into in the span of their business life, which is a commercial lease agreement. Commercial lease agreement is basically used for renting your office space or for your retail space, which is a fundamental need of any business who wants to have a physical location. Now, there are three very important clauses that you need to keep in mind while entering into any commercial lease agreement. The first and foremost has to be the lease duration, which defines what is the duration or the time period or any lock-in period, if you want to have, for which you could lease out the premise. The second has to be the rent, and more than defining the rent, the increments or the increase in the rent that will be happening in the subsequent years or in subsequent 3 years, however it is mutually defined between the parties. The third important clause is the use of the property. So while entering into any commercial lease agreement, you need to keep in mind your scope of business, what you want to do in that premise, and make sure that the same is there in the commercial lease agreement, which defines for what uses or for what reasons you can use that premise. Now that wraps up a guide for the essential contracts that every startup should have. Now, please understand that these are not just formalities, these are your safety nets. Having proper contracts in place can make a huge difference between the success and the failure of any startup in this very competitive and challenging world of entrepreneurship. Because having a safe and a solid contract can actually sail you through, which I believe after watching this video, you can achieve. I hope you like this video, find it little knowledgeable. If yes, please do not forget to subscribe and share it with someone who might need it. I will see you in my next video.